Did anyone buy this Aqua Teen balloon? Let's check it out. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is a show from way back then. It's a show that I grew up with on Adult Swim about animated fast food items talking to each other, and I don't know. Let's check it out. You gotta see it to believe it.
When it comes to collecting, most of us prefer the smaller sized items, like figures and statues that you can display on a table or
Yeah, this is quite the collection right there.
shelf, and enjoy from any part of the room.
Look at those, man. We gotta get more plushies
Of course, figures range
in my guys. In my house, we're gonna have some plushies when I get some cash. It's just I haven't been paid in a couple months.
in size from small to 1/6 or even 1/4 scale, but for the most part,
That's Gara.
they're contained to a small amount of space overall. However, that might not be big enough for some people, and those people might want something larger, like a life-size statue, or better yet, a realistic prop taken right out of your favorite cartoon that is so unrealistically big you can't even store it in your house.
The Simpsons house. I don't remember the Simpsons house having the address numbers on it though.
Though there is a catch here, because with a bigger size comes a bigger price tag. And
Uh-oh.
a bigger price tag means there's less potential buyers out there that would spend the money on that kind of thing. This notion
Yeah, I ain't got tens of thousands of dollars for a Aqua Teen Hunger Force, a balloon.
gets into a series of extremely wild and strange items that Cartoon Network and Adult Swim had for sale back in the 2000s on their websites, that to this day have remained elusive in the community.
Yeah, all these things could have been true if there was a Cartoon Network land.
For what exactly the items were, and how cool it would have actually been to see these in person. The only
Cartoon Network land, but they make a Cartoon Network land, they're gonna have to make a Adult Swim land.
problem is, we've never actually seen
Like, the balloon itself is just... They're selling it? I don't understand.
and have no idea if anyone even bought them in the first place when they were available, with few records of them having even been for sale in the first place. This is
Yeah, who thought it was a good idea to sell a blimp or whatever this is?
where the mystery begins with some pretty crazy items. In November 2003, 20 years ago, Cartoon Network ran a holiday promotion on their website called the Ultimate Holiday Wish List, with the tagline, if you're gonna
He's using a Wayback Machine for this, because, man, back then, images wouldn't even load. So you had to refresh a page, because the image wouldn't even load.
wish big. And wow did they deliver on that, featuring a specific section on their website's shop dedicated to the biggest, craziest,
Wait, $1 million? Wow, we're a kid's next door house.
and most expensive purchases you could make, with a total of 6 documented items any consumer could buy. The first one and most normal of the bunch is none other than Space Ghost's desk from Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Dude, that would be such a cool prop to have for like a stream or something. Such a cool prop.
This
Nah, man.
is a replica
Too bad that's not a thing though. But yeah, the desk is very iconic of this talking superhero named Space Ghost.
of the iconic desk that the character uses in his show, and it can be yours for only $40,000. If you
Not bad, not
read
bad.
the description,
They got a 15-inch Philips LCD television popping up seamlessly from the desktop. That's top of the line. Which comes with a built-in mini fridge. That's something a gamer desk needs. And hookups for AC and power outlets. A cordless telephone is also provided. Oh, that's good, that's good. Wow. I don't think this... It would be hard to get it for 40K. Okay, they could mass produce it, but 40K looks like a decent price for in today's money.
it tells you a little bit more about the product, like how the desktop is self-illuminated, and mood lighting that is built into the overhang.
Whoa, they got RGB! The first iteration of RGB.
The chair itself is decked out
Like somebody's like, "Yo, I want this. This is what I think is going to be a good desk," and it's a good desk.
2.
A good desk. Sometimes you got to like manifest what you want, and I think he has a good idea of trying to manifest this.
With a massage system and push-button adjustability.
Massage system. Gamer chairs don't even have that nowadays.
Not only that, but they also list a whole bunch of features not seen in the photo, and even use some brand names, stating, a 15-inch Philips LCD television pops up seamlessly from the desktop. A Sony Dream system supplies the built-in sound, and a mini fridge is furnished. The desk includes ports for computer hookups and AC power outlets. A cordless telephone is also provided. It actually looks really cool and sounds like an awesome piece of memorabilia to have. But despite this, it seems to be too far out of the price point for even fans of the show. Some discussion about this item.
It's so much money, guys. I don't know what the average income back then was, but
From the Toon Zone forums can be found online, mentioning how they'd laugh at anyone who spent the money on it, and even accused OP of having photoshopped the item themselves. Now, when these items have come up for discussion in the past, most people shared this feeling towards them, that they weren't actually sold and the whole thing was a joke played by Cartoon Network. While the images used are indeed mock-ups and don't show a final product, it's likely these were going to be made to order, which is why real images don't exist. This is exactly the same case for the other items being offered in this promotion, like the giant Ed, Edd and Eddy Gumball machine, the Dexter and Powerpuff Girls room makeovers, and the Harvey Birdman car.
So they're selling like Adult Swim stuff in conjunction with their Cartoon Network stuff.
This one does say,
like, they could have made a separate website, but nah, they're like, nah, we'll just throw it all on one website. Why not?
Only one will be made in the listing. But if there was ever a product from this list that was believed to be fake, it wouldn't be the desk or the chair, or even the car, and instead, it would be the real-life Kids Next Door treehouse for $1 million. Out of all these products, it's the treehouse that's become the most well-known over the years, for its ridiculousness and price tag, and was even a highlight in the Cartoon Network commercial that ran on TV for this promotion.
Everything on the Cartoon Network Ultimate Holiday Wish List, we started training, but it's not all ho-ho-ho. It's hard work. Now, Scooby-Doo movie packs, Powerpuff Girl cosmetic sets, no problem, but some of these things take 8 of us just to get in the sleigh. Yeah, just go online and buy a real made-to-order 5-room Kids Next Door treehouse. Shop the Ultimate
This is commercials. Oh, yeah.
Holiday Wish List on CartoonNetwork.com. If you're going to wish, wish big.
According to the description from the website, it contains a gaming station, state-of-the-art entertainment center, and literally
Treehouse. No, that's an interesting house. Treehouse. Imagine making a house like this. Wait, there's a bottom. So they built a house on top of the house. Okay, that's a good idea in general, but okay.
literally every other amenity under the sun, it says. And the commercial that advertised the treehouse specifically mentions it has 5 rooms, and was indeed made to order, so that does add more likelihood to the idea all of these were only made if someone bought them. In the old Rebel Taxi video that showed these listings off, and gave them the attention they have today, he shows more of the description for the treehouse, which gets into construction.
Let's see, powerful design and layout drawings, carpet installed, HVAC. Oh my goodness. Bedside table. Okay. Drywall. Hey, good thing there's gonna be drywall in there. I don't know why stone houses are not a thing. I guess they're just way out of our price range.
Construction details and furnishings.
Like a GameCube.
But like I mentioned previously, there are no records of anyone having bought these items, despite the discussions that occurred on various forums from back when they were first put up. The Harvey Birdman car even made it.
Even back then, they were trying to farm interactions. Yeah, they were shooting for the stars with these ideas. But yeah. It's still a possibility that these things can manifest.
Its way to a Volkswagen forum that apparently a lot of Adult Swim fans were using at the time, but nothing about the car was ever mentioned after that. The only records we have that relate to the acknowledgement of these items from Cartoon Network was a comment from the senior marketing director of the company, who mentioned in an interview that a few people were interested in the Kids Next Door treehouse, but funding fell through for the fact that they were 10 years old. Followed by a tweet from Adult Swim that said Space Ghost bought the desk. Both of these were collected from back a few years ago when Rebel Taxi was researching the topic. So while it does seem unlikely for these items to have
I thought Rebel Taxi's video was just an official video from Adult Swim.
been made, the craziness ramps up from here, as we look at a couple more items that are not remembered or as well known as the Cartoon Network ones. Now, you could argue that despite the high price tag of the Kids Next Door treehouse, it is a functional play area that kids would have a fun time in, or even that a $70,000 car would be cool to drive around. But meanwhile, a few years later, Adult Swim decided to revisit the ultimate holiday wishlist idea and created a couple new products of their own for potential buyers to purchase. Like I said,
Says attention rich people. Are you serious? I'm sorry guys, I'm just working out. My wrist's a little I have a bad wrist.
these are documented and discussed far less than the holiday items, and as far as I could tell, were not released as part of a holiday, promotion, or any specific reason. I guess Adult Swim just wanted to see if there
Oh yes, typical Adult Swim humor. I don't think they changed the way they're doing things. Did they?
were any fans big
Does it still have this message on the screen?
enough out there to purchase these items, and they are, without a doubt, way sillier and less useful than anything Cartoon Network was offering. In 2010, Adult Swim made a listing on their official web store for a replica death clock fountain from their show Metalocalypse.
I watched that show growing up and I was so weirded out. I didn't know what to think of that show.
Similar to the Cartoon Network listings, this one is complete with a mock-up illustration showing the fountain in the show, rather than a physical item, and has a price tag of $40,000. The description goes really hard to sell the item, asking if you are the world's biggest Metalocalypse fan. No, really, they're
I am not. I'm sorry. Actually, now that I look back on the show, I like it. I like the show. We could actually react to one of their episodes.
biggest fan, and that nothing will boast your dedication to animated death metal more than this disgustingly lavish and entirely unnecessary conversation piece. Well, hey, at least they acknowledge it's unnecessary. Since the photo is from the cartoon, it shows the fountain full of blood, and I was wondering if they were actually going to use some kind of fake
Good depiction, but man, Matt, I hope nobody has something like this. Imagine somebody makes something like this without not human blood, but
blood
there might be something like this in the world, and that is, I don't know what to think of that.
substitute in place of water, which fountains usually spout, but it just says the blood isn't included, or any shipping costs. I'm sure they probably would just use water, but even so, imagine if someone bought this and actually put it in their front yard. There probably would have been some kind of local news story just about complaints from the neighbors alone. There's
Oh yeah, for sure, but
also a
that's like the definition of satanic.
$13,000 deposit showing that you actually want to buy the item. Though contrary to the Cartoon Network items, Adult Swim does do a better job outright stating, "Seriously, this is real," in one of the bullet points, and has a separate contact page for serious inquiries. Considering the
Nah.
age demographic
Well, that's a lot of fries.
of Adult
Looks like they got in and out.
Swim fans, I'm sure they got a lot of memesters messaging them about it, only to make jokes. This is also proven by the fact that there are 39 people who left meme reviews on the item to pretend like they actually purchased it.
Looks like we don't have verified purchases to review it, so.
The irony here is that if someone did buy it and left a real review, we'd never know that with all the fake ones. But then there's the item that is the most unbelievable and most pointless
Hey, somebody could.
out of all of these attempts by Cartoon Network to make something crazy and expensive for the consumer, and that is indeed the thumbnail of this video. Imagine walking down the street, seeing a giant shadow overhead, then you look up and see Meatwad's goofy face staring back down at you. When you then proceed to ask yourself, what the heck is that? Maybe in some alternate reality that could have happened if someone purchased the Aqua Teen Hunger Force Meatwad hot air balloon.
The Giant's meatball.
This was posted around the same time as the Death Clock Fountain, but costs $30,000 more, for a total of $70,000. Similar to the fountain, it too has a contact page for serious inquiries only, and even directly mentions the fountain, pointing out that this balloon is even more nuts, and that's the truth.
Oh gosh, the early days of the internet, fam.
The meatwad balloon
Looks like everyone was having fun.
measures 90,000 cubic feet in size, is
But yeah, all these things can possibly happen.
custom made by Head Balloons Company, and comes with a piloted 1-hour ride anywhere in the US. You get to keep the balloon afterwards, but unlike the fountain, this is literally an airborne vehicle and comes with so many more liabilities that have to be addressed in the listing. It mentions that to pilot the item yourself, you need to have insurance, a license, and everything official like that. And also that you have to sign a waiver before going on the 1
Yeah, no one expressed interest for sure.
hour piloted ride. Interestingly, there is no deposit on this one, but it says it's non-refundable. It's so wacky to
Dang, bro, no non-refundable. That means what, they don't want to show the item.
think about buying an airborne vehicle from a TV block that airs goofy cartoons late at night, but I guess that's part of the whole meme of this. The description again
Yeah, I watched quite a bit of seasons growing up.
alludes to the fact that you must be a huge fan with a lot of money to waste to even buy this, but apparently there were a lot of people like that back in 2010 because 10 people reviewed the balloon and their experience riding in it. Actually, there's even one reviewer who claimed to have bought 3 of them and saved money by bundling, so I guess that means there are more than 10 of these in existence, right? Next, you're gonna tell me
Sure.
someone proposed to their fiance in one of these. Could you imagine the story you'd have to tell your kids? But jokes aside, similar to the previous items mentioned in this video, there are no photos that we know of showing finalized or released products for these Adult Swim items that someone bought and owns. Like I said before, because these were so
Cool concept though.
ridiculous and seemingly made to order, Cartoon Network and Adult Swim were not going to invest the money into a prototype or sample if they thought nobody was actually going to buy them in the first place. It's also for this reason that we can believe no physical creations for any of these products ever existed, and they're only dreams on paper. In fact, the closest confirmation we can get to that comes from Adult Swim themselves, who made a promo advertising the meatwad balloon when the listing went up. The commercial begins by showing the Death Clock fountain and asking the viewers
Adult Swim. I haven't seen them in so long.
if they
Years and years, fam.
remember it, stating that of course no one would because no one bought it, and then proceeds to show the meatwad balloon in the sky over the fountain. However, it's very possible that someone did buy one of these at one point and just never posted about it. The Ed and Eddie Gumball machine feels like it's priced reasonably low enough for someone to have bought, and even the fountain could have been used in a backyard or garden at someone's house. While these were technically
Yeah, I was too young to have that kind of money.
limited time items and weren't available for years and years, if you look at the listings on the Wayback Machine and go to the furthest capture, the Cartoon Network items were still up in August 2004, and the Adult Swim ones could still be bought in March 2012, with new reviews having been posted in February of that year. Maybe somebody saw the promo that mentioned nobody bought the fountain, and one was bought after it aired. I guess the question really comes down to whether or not there were any big enough fans of these shows to have spent the money on memorabilia from them, or if they did, if they have any idea that these are actually so elusive. Back when these were put up for sale,
Hey,
if someone had bought them, it probably wouldn't have felt like a big deal, having
just a quick 100K purchase, right?
been long before social media and the real impact of cartoon nostalgia nowadays. There could be someone out there that has one of these in their home and just never talked about it, or thought twice to share that aspect
There might.
of their childhood. Though Rebel Taxi also made a good point in his original video, that if someone did purchase one of these items, there probably would have been a whole PR event about it, complete with commercials and everything. Especially with Adult Swim, that's something so crazy I could imagine them doing. But I'm not sure if this theoretical PR would have only been for the higher priced items and not the smaller priced ones like the desk or the car, but it's something to consider. I would love to come across someone that has at least one of these items, but until that happens, their creation will remain a mystery. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Oops. Yeah, that's a video. Check out L Supersonic Q in the description. Imagine you're chilling outside and you look up at the sky and only see a giant meatwad air balloon. Somebody adjusted for inflation. The meatwad balloon's worth 100k now instead of 70k. That still doesn't explain why McChicken's $5 now. Then it should be 320,000. Why are some things more expensive than others? But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next one, fam.